Happy Tuesday, friends. Today's psalm is Psalm 142, which the She Reads Truth study calls a prayer for help in trouble. So, if you want to turn in your Bibles to Psalm 142 with me, it's a maskil of David, which is some kind of musical term that we don't know, and I find it honestly fascinating that we just don't know this stuff about the kind of music that the Psalms were, but we get to participate in them anyway and learn how it applies to us now. David wrote this when he was fleeing from Saul, and Saul had a harmful spirit, like sent from God, it says several times in 1 Samuel. That was causing him to be angry with David and pursue him, and the fact that all the people loved David more than they loved Saul, and God had asked Samuel to anoint David as king rather than establishing Saul in his line forever. That was making Saul pretty angry and causing him to make some poor decisions, like, chase David down and try to kill him and cause him to try to hide in caves. So David is writing this out of that place, which is more challenging than what I'm facing now, I think. But yeah, Psalm 142. With my voice I cry out to the Lord. With my voice I plead for mercy to the Lord. I pour out my complaint before him. I tell my trouble before him. When my spirit faints within me, you know my way. In the path where I walk, they have hidden a trap for me. Look to the right and see. There is none who takes notice of me. No refuge remains to me. No one cares for my soul. I cry to you, O Lord. I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring me out of prison, that I may give thanks to your name. The righteous will surround me, for you will deal bountifully with me. A few quick things that I noticed as I was reading this that I want to point out. In verse 3, David's in the middle of saying that his spirit is fainting within him, but then he chooses to turn to God and declare, you know my way. You know where I'm going. You know the traps that are set out for me, and I followed you and you led me here. Which means David is facing the question of why and what's God's purpose in this. But he's also living in confidence that God does have purpose to this, and God will deliver him. He didn't anoint David for no reason. He hasn't called us to follow him for no reason. So God knows the paths we are walking and the challenges that we're facing, and is working purposefully in that. Something really great that the She Reads Truth study talked about was the fact that prayer is not the place to make yourself look good, to make it look like you have it all together. And David's just here openly declaring all of his struggles, all of his sorrows. He's pleading for mercy. Pleading, that's the word. Mercy. And there's no attempt here at David saying, I've done all the right things. I'm great, save me. It's simply David declaring where he's broken and crying out for God to come and deliver him. And it makes me wonder how many times my own prayers are really authentic, really laying the things that I'm struggling with before God and saying, this is where I need help. Help. I see this brokenness within me. I see this anger within me. I see this fear or this shame within me. help. I think more often I'm trying to convince myself that I'm more okay than I am. And that leads to like a lack of authenticity in prayer. So maybe the biggest lesson that we can pull out of the psalm is that perfect authenticity in prayer from David to God. May we be able to emulate that ourselves.